This week in Jamaica Now, coronavirus cases climbing in Jamaica. A COVID response worker and about 52 Alorica call center workers are among them. The permanent secretary in the health ministry is in quarantine and the building is being sanitized. St. Catherine under lockdown. The Prime Minister is pleading for people to stop movement.
Tan at your yard.
We revisit the story of the Jamaican ship workers. The Prime Minister said he learned that they were in Jamaican waters after they had left. 62 Jamaicans to be deported from the U.S. on Tuesday. And appeal court shaves off 2.5 years of Kartel's sentence on his murder conviction. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. Jamaica this week recorded a sharp jump in the number of coronavirus cases, moving past the 100 mark. Among the new cases are at least 52 workers of the Portmore-based Alorica call center. The Portmore location has now been closed, as well as the Kingston branch, as a comprehensive cleaning gets underway. The company says all the employees who have tested positive will continue to receive their full salaries. And another call center has closed its doors for deep cleaning and sanitizing because one of its employees was in contact with a positive case at the Alorica call center. Sutherland Global, located on South Camp Road in Kingston, said it made the decision to close out of an abundance of caution. It also says it will be conducting deep cleaning. And the headquarters of Jamaica's health ministry was closed on Friday for deep cleaning and sanitizing after one of its COVID response workers also tested positive for the virus.
Well, all the other tenants would have been notified from last night, should have been notified, as we had a meeting and they would have been told what to do, what was happening, and they would have been advised to take their own precaution. As you can see, everybody entering the building is temperature checked and is sanitized.
The Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, and his Permanent Secretary, Dunstan Bryan, tested negative. But Mr. Bryan is now in quarantine because he was in contact with the response worker. And St. Catherine is now under a 7-day lockdown as it continues to lead the COVID-19 parish tally. As part of the lockdown, people are only allowed to go out to conduct essential business on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but they must go out based on categories. The elderly, the disabled, and pregnant women are in one category and will be given preference, while others must go out based on the schedule and their last names. But on the first day of the lockdown on Wednesday, there was chaos in Portmore and Spanish Town. Supermarkets were flocked, roads were jammed, and there was panic. The Prime Minister has indicated that although the lockdown is initially for 7 days, it could be extended to 14 days in a bid to contain the spread of the coronavirus.
Tan at your yard. More than that, isolate yourself. You are allowed to pursue the essentials of life, but this has to be done in an orderly way to limit movement during this period of time.
And the police have sought to restore calm after an internal memo was leaked to the public. The memo was advising parish commanding officers in one police area to prepare a response plan in the event of a lockdown.
That was intended for the sole purpose of advising our divisional commanders to prepare their response plan in the event that we see a similar outbreak across the island to what happened in St. Catherine recently.
In a follow-up now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has said when he learned that a group of 43 heartbroken Jamaican ship workers had anchored near Port Royal in Kingston seeking landing, they had already left. But according to Holness, the moment he became aware of the matter on Friday, April 3, he was clear that they would have had to be allowed in.
When it came to our attention, we all said, well, this is a situation that we should consider. And I said, yes, go ahead. By the time the minister went out to make the call, to give the approval, he came back and said, Prime Minister, they have left. So I just want that to be clear, because in a time of crisis, there are persons who are trying to find all kinds of issues to hang on to. And we need to be kept in check. But I am also going to be very frank and very plain and straightforward that we are not going to give any quarter for anyone to hang on to misinform and distract. I think all Jamaicans know we must remain focused.
This development has further clouded the issue since ship workers had reported that they anchored in Jamaican waters at 7 a.m. on Thursday, April 2 for refueling and disembarkation and departed at 4 p.m. on Friday, April 3 after no word came from the government on their landing request. And according to a joint statement from the Ministries of National Security and Foreign Affairs, the captain left possibly because there could be no guarantee that the Jamaicans would have been granted landing. Meanwhile, the Ministry of National Security says measures have been put in place to facilitate the safe return of 62 Jamaican deportees who are set to arrive in the island from the United States on Tuesday, April 21. The ministry says they will be quarantined for 2 weeks in a secure government facility where they will be processed by the relevant authorities. The Health Ministry recently conducted sensitization sessions with staff at the facility detailing potential health risk of COVID-19 and how to detect and report signs of the virus. While under quarantine, the deportees will be screened twice daily by medical officers assigned by the Health Ministry. The appeal court has shaved off 2.5 years of the prison time for convicted dancehall artist Vybz Kartel before he becomes eligible for parole. This means Kartel will now be eligible for release after 32.5 years instead of 35 years. The term before parole eligibility will also be reduced by 2.5 years for co-convicts entertainer Sean Storm, Kyra Jones, and Andre St. John. The ruling by the Court of Appeal comes 2 weeks after a panel of 3 judges dismissed Kartel's application to quash his murder conviction and sentence. Kartel, whose real name is Adidja Palmer, Sean Storm, whose real name is Sean Campbell, Jones, and St. John were convicted in March 2014 for the August 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams. All 4 men were given the mandatory life sentence. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, more on the coronavirus in Jamaica.
Hi everyone, Usain Bolt here, and I endorse the Jamaica Together campaign. I just want to encourage everybody to stay inside, follow the government's guidelines, also check in on your family and friends, and also work out, which is good. Do some exercise, some jumping jacks, some crunches, even for 5 minutes daily, you know what I mean? Eat healthy, because you definitely need to try to eat healthy, and really just support each other and stay strong.
What is very important is for us in Jamaica to recognize that we have to be each other's keeper. We have to be each other's good neighbor. There's no room for the I. It has to be the we. Therefore, for those of us who are following the guidelines, if we come across relatives, friends, neighbors who are not following the government guidelines, we must be prepared to be the man in the mirror, to face down, mentor our neighbors, our family, to do the right thing.
If you're all the way over there and I'm all the way over here, I'm good, mask or no mask, because you're all the way down there. So social distancing, and it costs nothing, it costs you nothing, right? So people need to adhere to those regulations.